Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at and showing you how to install the Aptronix driver side LED tail light. This is also available for the passenger side as well. The light is going to have LEDs, which last a really long time, and it's going to have 23 diodes, which, as you can see, even on a really bright sunny day, the light is going to shine really bright, and other motorists are going to have no problem seeing you. The light is going to be specifically designed for boat trailers, which means it is going to be submersible. However, I always do recommend whenever you go to launch your boat to just turn the power off on the lights, just to be on the safe side. So the back of our light is all nice and sealed and really well built. Feels like it'll hold up for a while. And it's also going to have some little cutouts here. And what that's going to allow us to do is kind of push our wiring down flush. That way we don't have to worry about pinching it. We're going to have a few slots as well, and those are going to be there for our included hardware. So those kind of slide in. That way we'll have multiple different mounting options. On the bottom of the light, we're going to have a clear lens, and what that's going to do is allow light to pass down. That way, if your license plate is mounted under it, it's also going to act as a license plate light. So you kind of get 2 for 1 here. There's also going to be reflectors all around the light, and that's just going to go the extra mile when other motorists are behind you with their headlights on. Kind of shines a little bit brighter. Now once you kind of get your hands on the light, it does feel pretty well built. For the most part, everything's nice and tight, and so that leads me to believe you shouldn't have any issues with moisture or dirt and debris getting inside. Now I'll give you a few measurements to make sure your light will work with your setup. From end to end, it's going to be 7 7/8 of an inch long. It's going to be 3 1/4 of an inch tall. And as far as the thickness or the depth of the light, it's going to be 2 7/8 of an inch. So overall, it's going to be a great replacement or even an upgrade over the traditional style incandescent bulbs. The LEDs are going to shine much brighter, last a lot longer, and even use less power. Now as far as the installation goes, it's really straightforward. These more or less, in most cases, are just going to be a direct replacement, and you won't have to modify anything really, more or less just hook the wires up. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and do that together now. So to begin your install, what you're first going to want to do is take the yellow and brown wire coming out of the back of the light and hook it up to your existing trailer wiring. In our case, and in most cases, the existing trailer wiring will be color for color, so brown and yellow. And so what we're going to do is add on a buck connector, that way we can complete the circuit. So I'm just going to strip back a little more insulation here on our tail light wires. I'll kind of give them a good twist. And what I like to do is use heat shrink butt connectors. That way it'll help keep everything sealed up. Now, the light doesn't come included with these butt connectors, but if you need some, you can find them here at eTrailer. So that just slides right over one end. Crimp it down. Do the same thing for the yellow wire. Then we're just going to match them up color for color. So the yellow wire will plug into our existing yellow trailer wire. Crimp it down. And same thing with our brown. Once I have them connected, I like to just very gently kind of pull on each end to make sure we have a good connection. And once we verify that, I'll come back with the heat source and seal up our heat shrink ends. So this is how our butt connectors look once we have the ends all sealed up. What I'm going to do is just grab some electrical tape and wrap them up just to go a step further. Kind of start to feed our extra wiring back into the frame, make it a little easier to work with here. Now that we have the majority of our wire kind of tucked away, a little easier to see what we're doing, what I'm going to do is take the included hardware, slide them into the slots, the back of our light, And I'm just going to use this as our ground because the light is going to push up against our metal bracket here. I'll just take the ring terminal, slide that over it. I'll do too. Just kind of get our wires untangled. I'll actually push these into those guides. That way we don't have to worry about pinching them. We put it in place. Kind of do the same for our white wire just to keep it all tucked. We're just simply going to push our studs through the holes in our trailer. Kind of feed the wires in as we go. Now that our studs on the back of our light are coming through the back of our trailer bracket, I'm going to take the included flat washer and hex nut. I'm going to get each one started hand tight. Use that same combination on this one. The flat washer and the hex nut. Then we just come back with a socket and snug them down. Now that we have the light hooked up, it's a good idea to just plug into your tow vehicle. That way we can test it and make sure it's working properly. So we're going to try our turn signal, our running lights, and our brake lights. And that'll finish up our look at and our installation of the Aptronix driver side LED taillight.